Which would you rather have in America, socialism or capitalism?
I would say socialism.
How do you view the word socialism, favorably or unfavorably?
I guess I would go with favorably.
Like, I have family in Europe. They go to college for free. Their healthcare is paid for. They don't have to worry about it at all.
I favor that over capitalism.
Okay, got it.
I also think I favor that, like, socialism over capitalism.
Socialism is more geared toward like helping the people in your, the governed.
I'd rather people have that same opportunity. There's a lot of excess in America.
The main idea of socialism being that people at the top are doing their fair share to help people at the bottom, trying to prevent disparity of income and trying to prevent excess, as you called it. So on campus, if there's a GPA disparity where there's people at the bottom with a poor GPA, would you support a policy where people at the top spread the wealth and give that GPA to people at the bottom?
Help them get a better GPA?
Yeah.
I'm all for helping. I wouldn't give let me just give you some of my points.
But it's about being fair, right? We got to help people at the bottom.
I've lost a lot of sleep, so I don't know if I will be fair.
It's hard. I guess it would be kind of like hypocritical for me to say no.
That's completely different.
How is it different?
Because I'm like studying all day for my grade.
What do you mean by sharing it? Like, literally, like, giving them a chunk of my GPA?
Yep.
Dang.
I would want to say no, straight up.
But what's the difference between earning a high GPA and not wanting to give it away, but then earning a lot of money and also not wanting to give that away?
Well, I feel like the difference is that you study for your grades, right? And grades often reflect how much time you spend studying. But
You gotta work pretty hard to become a millionaire.
I mean, I'm not denying that fact either, but for the regular working person,
Do you think there's a similarity between earning your salary and maybe not wanting to give it away to people that aren't working to earn it? And same thing with the GPA, where you earn it and you say, well, I don't necessarily want to give it to anyone who might not be working for it.
Right. I think it's just that whole sense of thinking that no one's going to work for it.
I mean, I sacrifice a lot to get my GPA. I don't go out as much as I'd like to, but that's for something like a greater goal in the future, the way I see it. So no, I wouldn't sacrifice my own things, like sacrifice my own time to help somebody else who didn't want to make those same sacrifices.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and this new generation is cooked. Not because they couldn't formidably answer his question, and I think I could do a better job at it. While on the surface it sounds like it's a one-to-one argument, it's actually not. Let me explain. The reason that socialism in certain aspects as it pertains to the medical industry or housing is a better ideal, because capitalism, one, a lot of these people that are capitalists that own real estate or in the medical industry aren't dealing with a set of logic. What I mean by that is they want to charge egregiously high insurance premiums, but the average person reasonably can't afford the prices they're trying to set. Now, if you're an industry and you sell a commodity, and healthcare is a commodity, it should be reasonable. It shouldn't be $400 to $1,000 if you have a family, and it shouldn't be no goddamn $250 or $394 for a single person. That's egregious. That's not even within reason, and that's not even literally the cost of the healthcare, right? Medical insurance. That's literally mostly commission. So that's first. It's corrupt from Jump Street. Now, the 1-to-2 argument that he's making, I think I can clarify. Your grades in school aren't comparative to a rich person and their money. Meaning, you go to school and you study, you wouldn't lend your GPA to a person that didn't, because you're actually doing the work to get a degree. You still ain't got the job yet, right? You're trying to obtain a degree to get something. Whereas with capitalism, while you do work hard to get the money, they work hard to get the money, but then they sit on it. It's not to get the money to do shit, but to hoard it or to buy shit mostly that they don't need. Now, I've never been the type of person to pocket watch. And if you want a million yachts, I guess you're entitled to that. However, as a person that's rich, I feel people that are rich should possibly give a little back. Be a humanitarian or a philanthropist of such, right? But they don't do that. Most of the people, they sit and they hoard millions, if not billions of dollars. One, you're not going to spend all that money in a lifetime. Your family, your lineage, your offspring, they're not going to spend most of that money in their lifetime. It's just hoarding the shit, right? And I believe if I was rich, while I would like hoard some of the money, because I don't necessarily knock hoarding the money, I would do something that revolutionized the world, right? We've been living in a world that's been getting progressively worse. And the reason it's been getting progressively worse is because people that are of certain means aren't helping the situation. It's like if your leg was fucking broke, and instead of like, I don't know, getting you some gauze and a leg brace and a crutch, they came along and kicked it. Now that's not going to necessarily make your leg broke any worse, but it ain't helping. You know what I'm saying? And on top of all that, it speaks to like the quality of people, what type of person you are. Most of these people are fucking scumbags. Instead of like trying to help the problem, they're making the problem worse. If I was a billionaire, let's say I had $300 million, I would do things like build homeless shelters. I would get grants to run said shelters. I would get donations. I would campaign for donations. I would actually put people on payroll. Hell, I make them a 501(c). That means tax exempt. I don't have to pay taxes on it. I can employ people. I could generate money, put more money. I wouldn't even profit off none of the money that was made from said homeless shelter. I would use the money to facilitate the shelter and to pay the staff and to buy the food and to repair beds and keep the shit maintained and operable. They don't do that. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and we can keep going down the line. Oprah Winfrey could open like 20 of them damn homeless shelters throughout America and corral the homelessness problem. It wouldn't even make a dent in their money. Not only that, they could get subsidy grants from the government like Elon Musk did with Tesla. It's a win-win. They don't do that because they don't want to do that, because they're despicable people. In any event, if y'all like this episode, you know what to do. If you disagree with me, let me know why. If you're a greedy, self-serving scumbag, leave it in the comments. In any event, I'm out.